and this is Thunderfury.
So whenever I'm in Borealis now and this song plays, like the part where it says, like where I'm saying, "Hi everyone, it's Kat." I'm making fun of myself, I guess. Yeah. I'm like ready for it to happen when I'm in Borealis. Is that happening to you guys?
It's not going to happen here in a week a whole lot.
No, we're not going to be there anymore.
Yeah.
Aha.
Yeah.
Yay.
We're moving on to bigger and better things.
That's right. I liked Borealis. Like, I thought that it was a good hub.
Yep.
I enjoyed it. It will be missed.
But yeah, let's jump right on and talk about World of Warcraft.
Well, I was talking about Warcraft, but I guess that's not good enough.
That was what we call a
transition?
Yes. Hey, that was our intro. This is now World of Warcraft.
Okay. Oh, yeah, World of Warcraft.
Because we have the little graphic. Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. I just put it right now.
Nope, it already happened.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, wait, so can I talk about the community?
Everything we're talking about today
Everything
is going to be World of Warcraft. We're not going to talk about anything that isn't World of Warcraft.
Right. Okay.
Except for Call of Duty, which is awesome. And that's that right there. That was all we're talking about, Call of Duty.
Call of Duty screen.
So, no, there's not. No.
Call of Duty. Okay.
No.
I messed that one up too. All right. So first things first, I think that's on a lot of people's minds and they're questioning about, because this is our first time that we'd be, are the officer positions, is what I'm getting to.
Well, we had initial officer positions that were voted on and accepted.
And so this will be our first changeover officer positions.
Yes. Changing of the guard.
Changing of the guard. So what's really important to mention.
Peaceful.
Well, here's what's really important to mention.
Hopefully.
No one will take my position. No. So there are no rules about an officer keep.
There are no rules.
No.
Just do whatever you want.
Gosh, let me
Anarchy.
get this sentence out. There's no rules about rerunning. Like, you are 100% allowed to rerun if it's a position you still like, or if you're an officer in one thing, you can run for a different officer spot. Mm-hmm. The only reason why we even do this is first off, to give other people an opportunity,
right?
But then also to make sure that an officer doesn't become kind of stale and stagnant and not doing anything,
like swamp water,
which happens a lot in guilds. Let's be honest, it just happens.
It's because I like this person. They've been here for the longest. They're going to be an officer, but they don't actually do anything. Yeah, so we don't want that to happen. So yeah, you guys can all be my friends, but only the people that actually do stuff will be officers.
We'll only be my officer friends. So that's a thing. So I mean, if you're an officer right now and you really like the position you have, run again. Yep. So that's another thing I want to mention. So the officers are voted for from a list of people interested. So it's not like, I really want to vote for this person, but they have no interest in doing it. They have to actually come out and contact me and say, hey, I want to be an officer in said position. Yes. So how are you going to... So we have multiple officer positions. Are you going to... First off, how should people who are interested contact you? Discord? Yes. I'll make sure he reads them. No, I do for the votes. He does for these things, and all that. I'm really good with that. You are. Part. That's the one time. So let's say, let's use me as an example. What if I was super interested in becoming raid lead again, but I was also super interested in becoming the PvP officer? Should I be like, hey, I'm interested in both of these positions? How does that work? Because if somebody doesn't win in one position, what if they want to get a different position? Or you got to pick one. But what if they don't win that one and then they want the other one? You got to pick one. You got to pick one. Because if we don't do that, then I have to stagger the votes. The actual running for each of the things. Really I don't want to do that. Okay. Pick what you want to do. What if they give you a list? First, this is what I want. Okay, guys, don't do that. Pick one thing. You can only pick one. Listen. Okay. I get what you're saying. Yeah. So pick one thing that you really want to do that you think that other people want you to do and run for that. Okay. Yeah. And the end. So what I'll also do is I'll have a spreadsheet because we love spreadsheets in my spreadsheets. And it's been so long. I feel like we've really been lacking on the spreadsheets. And as people tell me that they would like to run for the position, I will fill out the spreadsheet so you can see who is
interested in each position.
Right, because I mean, obviously the people who are running it's not a secret because you need to know your options to vote for, though your vote is secret.
Yep.
So that way you can kind of take a look and see who's interested in what positions and then kind of get an idea of who you want to vote for. And that'll also be something they whisper to you privately, correct?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, and just to be clear what the officer position is it's basically you're kind of in charge of that area. The actual running of the guild and everything, like a lot of times I will ask people's opinion on stuff. But when it comes down to actually how the guild is going to be run, it's going to be pretty much my decision with other people, with their input. Basically, there's going to be my counsel that I ask what they think about this.
So this is just like, are you just telling us this just as like a side note, like, hey guys, this is something you can't run for, but it's happening anyways.
Well, no, not. I mean,
you made me so confused.
I mean, basically, it's the positions are responsible for what they do.
Right.
Right. But the actual running of the guild is not necessarily hey, let's vote on this type thing.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I know, and that's how it's always been. Like, that's not anything different. So yeah, that's fine. I made it sound so sketchy. I'm sorry. That's not what it is. Okay, so let's talk about the positions that you can have as an officer. So raid leader, right? And so let's talk about that.
You lead the raid, which is going to be a lot more advanced this next time than it was last.
Okay. So I think... So kind of what it is so if I don't run or anything like that, or if I don't win, it's kind of like passing of the torch, right? So I kind of would give my input and then just be like, this is what I've learned to you, new person. So you raid leader elect.
Yeah, basically we have rules already set in place. The incoming raid person can amend those.
Okay.
Change them with what they feel it should be. But, I mean, we already have something kind of running. And so hopefully they would just take what is going
and then kind of like
maybe morph it a little bit or change little things.
So with that, so like I would think it's safe to say that we will be, and also guys, I want to say this too, and this will continue on with the officers. Whenever anything came up, like even though I was the raid lead, I would still ask for input from the officers. Like they were kind of like a trusted smaller group, like a test group to see, hey, if I want to do this, what do you guys think? And they were my little test group. And if they were like, yeah, that's a good idea, or no, or maybe you should change this. And then after it kind of got polished, then I released it to the guild.
The idea for that too is that we want to have a united front and everybody knows what's going on, because people, if they don't know something, they're going to ask an officer.
Exactly.
And so we want to be able to be like, okay, this is our stance on this.
Right. So even if it's not the raid lead officer, somebody should be able to ask something about the raid to any officer and get the same answer. It shouldn't matter.
Yeah.
So with that, like what I would say is, so the raid lead would obviously be in charge of knowing all boss mechanics, be able to clearly tell the guild what to do during a boss fight. They would need to have, we use the ready for raid and raider status, which is, I think, worked well.
Yeah.
Like, so they're going to have kind of like prerequisites for like advancing forward, and like little tasks that you might need to complete in order to be in a certain grouping. I think it's good to mention too, if you become raid lead, it's really good to kind of like have a secondary, like chose by the raid lead, like a helper. Right. Because a lot of times there's a lot of stuff going on. You need two people. And then sometimes, like, if the raid lead can't be there, you got to have like that backup. Right.
And that's another thing too, is you have to have pretty stellar attendance.
Yeah, the attendance is big deal. So like if you can't make it 50%, like that's not a big deal as a raider. Like you are allowed to have a life. You got to
be up there like 90%.
You have to be like 90. I think I missed one raid.
Yeah.
And I had to leave midway because of the dog.
Yeah. So that's another big thing is just has to be 90%, and we're expanding rating a little bit.
Are you?
To have an extra day. That's once we get through heroic content, that extra day will actually be a mythic content day.
Okay. So I'm sure we'll get more on that when you actually have a raid leader in that position.
Yeah, we'll have to work out the details.
You're like your raid lead assistant, or whatever you want to call it, your number 2 man, they need to be like somebody that can, like, if you can't, hey, I can't make it these days or whatever, if you can make it these days. And I think what you should do, whoever gets raid lead, say kind of like who the other people who are interested in. And if they want, they can choose from them. But if not, they can go
and the thing is you could also just make it another officer.
That's true too.
You know, it just as that backup, it's fine.
But pretty much there's going to be one raid lead, and then from there on, it will branch out a tiny bit to one other person. Like me and Hacked is what I'm trying to get.
Yeah, and Hacked is an officer too, so
that already worked out. Yep. Okay, so then the next position is the treasurer.
Yep.
So that's the position being ran by Mist right now.
Yep.
It's a big job.
It is. It's huge.
It's a big job.
Especially at the beginning of the expansion. It's going to be really big.
So this person is in charge of the guild bank and providing stuff, because we've always wanted it so our members have access to food and flasks. Probably not right at the beginning. But
so at the very beginning, it's going to be food and flasks for raid only.
For raid only. That makes sense.
So we're only going to unlock those tabs during raid until we have enough materials and enough things that we can open it up like it is now, where people can take stuff out.
And like I would grab food and flasks all the time for Mythic Plus.
Right.
Like it was just so convenient and available. So that it's also part of their job is to kind of make sure there's enough in the guild bank money wise for guild repairs for raid nights, which is going to be very expensive at the beginning of an expansion because we're gonna die a lot, you know. So that person needs to have good organization, good understanding of like professions, materials, a little bit of like how to manage resources. Yeah. It's something also I could never do.
Auction house experience.
Auction house experience. And they will also and can utilize like the shopping list. They'll be in charge of that. So that's something we want to keep going. If you guys remember, we had the shopping list tab. It's actually still there. We just, again, at the end of the expansion, we kind of stopped using it because we didn't need stuff in the guild bank.
Right.
This will be like a list of items that we need, and they're the person that'd be like, okay, this is what we need. And if you get them, like, we'll always award like raffle tickets or whatever, anything to help get people motivated to do it. But that would be that position. It's a tough one.
Yeah, and
it's a lot of work.
And also to add on to that is going to be the crafting of the legendaries. That person is going to kind of have to know who in the guild can do what little pieces for this.
They won't themselves be responsible of it. Like, you know, like, oh, I have to make this leather piece or I have to make this. But they need to kind of have their feelers out on like who can do what.
Yeah, almost for every single. Yeah. For every single class, have like here's where you hit up these people for your legendary. Yeah. And that's it. And what type of materials you'll need. Right. And what the guild bank can provide and what they can't. Right. Because, I mean, I'd like to provide legendaries to the entire guild, but I just don't think it's feasible. I don't think that's
doable,
at this point.
Maybe, like you were saying, though, maybe that's like a piece we can help with or whatever. Yeah. And that's another thing the treasurer would have to know. We can definitely at least give you this. This isn't going to break our bank, but it'll help you. So stuff like that. The next one is the character improvement officer, which we want to keep going. That's another position that kind of like died down at the end of the expansion, but it's super important, especially at the beginning of an expansion, and especially if we're thinking about running Mythic. Yeah. So CACT right now is the character improvement officer. You have to have a vast knowledge of
multiple classes,
all classes pretty much, and all specs. Now you don't have to be an expert in everything,
and most importantly, know to where to go, what the resources are.
Absolutely.
If you don't.
Yes. Yeah, and that's a big one. And so you also have to be, I mean, you don't have to like have a free schedule, but you have to be willing to like speak with somebody one-on-one in Discord or in chat and be patient. Yep. That's that one.
So one awesome example of this is Cantor Kane. Mm-hmm. You know, she was actually at the lower half of DPS meters starting up. She worked with Hacked a little bit. I know that there were some class changes and all that, but now
no, there even before class changes and anything. Like she is like a hard contender for like first place all the time.
Yeah, she's really good.
Yeah,
and like, that's basically
like that partnership, is what we want. Yeah, like that partnership of like her working her butt off and then like accepting the information from Hacked. Like they just got it done.
It's like Hacked's going to tell you what to do, or the improvement officer is going to tell you what to do, but you have to take it and you need to go with it.
And something that's really hard too, because sometimes like this is something too, like as that officer, you might know your stuff and you might tell this person, they might be like, nah, I'm not going to do it. Or like, I've already do that. You're like, no, you don't. So they also have to be really available to look like good at looking at logs and understanding them as well. And just patience. That's like the key. So knowledge and patience is another really tough officer job. Hack does a great job. But if you are interested, that's that one. That's a big one too. That person's going to be busy at the beginning of raid.
Everyone's going to be busy.
Yeah, it's going to be a busy stuff.
Expansion,
So a new one, we had this and it kind of fell apart, but I think we have the members now and the interest now to get this going. We want a PvP officer.
Yep.
So a PvP officer obviously would be somebody who would most likely help out with when we do the AWCs.
AWCs, right? Yep. The AWC, it's Arena Might Championship, AMC.
Coming to a theater near you.
And then also, we're going to sit down once we have the person elected and actually think about what goals we want as a guild PvP wise.
Yeah, because we want stuff kind of always going on, you know, no matter what. So a PvP officer might be from anything from like, let's get together. I'm planning this on this day for World PvP, or hey, maybe we can run rated battlegrounds, right? Like get that going. Yeah. Like that would be really good.
And I think there's a big difference between someone who's good at PvP and someone who can organize it for the guild. So you don't necessarily have to be amazing. You don't have to be amazing at PvP to be in this position.
Right.
You just have to have the ability to work with and organize these teams and make things happen.
And that person too, like if you are the officer, let's say they do all this work, they organize it, so we're running a rated battlegrounds, and they like can designate somebody like, hey, I'm just gonna use Hacked as an example. Hacked, you're really great at doing call outs or priority targets. I need you to do that for this fight. Like, so I mean, you can delegate, but it's the organization of getting these things to happen.
And that's probably the most important thing, is getting them to happen on a normal basis.
Yeah.
People will eventually get better. We're all going to be horrible at the beginning.
Yeah.
And that's just how it's going to be.
Yeah.
But you just need to push through that and have a set schedule and be committed to it.
See, I would love like some type of PvP get together at least twice a month, and then I have our AWC. So that would be 3 cool. Like it doesn't have to be every week on Tuesday we're doing, like it doesn't have to be that, like, because then like all of our nights are, you know, like we got all of our raids, and then we have you know, like a PvP night, and then we have a mythic, like we don't need to fill up our schedules.
Yeah, but I want people to be able to rely that there is a night where they can go and they can do
they can do stuff like that. Absolutely. So that's a new one, guys. If you are interested, you know, think about it.
New, but not really new.
Not really new, but we want to we want it to be bigger. Yeah, definitely, for sure. Okay, so we're kind of shifting one. We had the guild quest giver.
Right.
As like, this was like kind of like a testing something out sort of thing. You got it because you wanted there to be something to do. Like something for people to like always stay active and engaged.
Yeah, which I think worked really well.
It did. So, but you're thinking kind of like expanding this a little bit. So we're going to change it probably to the social engagement or something like a social engagement officer.
Yeah.
So still things like guild quests, but possibly somebody who just organizes different reasons to get together. This would also be different games, right?
Sure. So yeah, like if everybody wants to come and play Call of Duty, they would organize a night for that. But primarily we want to focus on WoW on this. Yeah. And the other stuff is kind of just extra if it happens.
Just like additional. So always have something going on in WoW. Like it could be a simple like guild quest. Yep. Or it could be like, hey guys, we're all getting together tonight and we're all going to do this old raid. Like, it can even be something weird like that. Like, just whatever. Like, you don't need the raid leader for that. You know, you just need reasons to get together. Or, like, we're doing this achievement together. Or we're going and, I don't know, taking a picture in this weird place.
Right, exactly.
just reasons for for everyone to
fun
get together.
Stuff that you get in MMOs without having to have the content handed to you.
Yeah.
Basically, it's like almost creating your own content.
Yeah.
Like sandboxing.
Exactly. So that's like a very creative officer position.
Right.
And then, and then on top of that, throw out, or like have somebody be able to go to you. Like if Bronny's like, hey guys, I really want Among Us to happen, then maybe the social engagement officer can like make an announcement, make it an actual thing, like on a schedule, and say, hey, this is happening at this time.
Right.
Please take advantage of it. Mm-hmm. So that's that position. So again, it's kind of...
And also they'll also be kind of working with me on the...
MDI?
The MDI that we do.
The MDI stuff. Just for like organization. And again, the like scheduling
because it kind
of
encompasses all that.
Right.
So
yeah. Okay, and then we have one more. And it's going to be the social media officer.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I knew what you were looking for. So social media officer. So we really want to get social media like going. We have a couple people in charge of a few things right now, but it's not much to post right now.
There isn't, but there's going to be.
There's going to be a lot of stuff. And so this person we would want to be able to really like anytime anything happens within the guild or within the community to make a post about it.
Right.
So like this could be anything from like, hey, Ride hit 1,000 followers on Twitch. Give him a shout out. Or, hey, this person won the raffle. Give him, like anything. Or, hey, we got this boss down. Or, like, everything and anything that's going on within the community. Or, again, this is something you could work with the social engagement officer with. We're having Among Us tonight or on Saturday. Please join us at this time.
Right.
Like, all sorts of posts like that.
Yeah.
So they have to
it's basically just to be a communications hub. We can call it our communications officer.
Communications officer. Perfect. Sure. That's much better. So it'll be that person. So that way too, like, so in order for that position, you kind of have to be on top of things in Discord a bit. Because I would like it if people specifically messaged you and be like, hey, can you put this up? Can you make an announcement about this? But not everybody's going to do that. Right. So it's kind of up to somebody who kind of keeps up with the community, keeps up with Discord, keeps up with what's going on so that they can make these announcements and posts so that everybody who doesn't or can't keep up will still get all this information.
Yep. Definitely. So, because Discord can get a little bit spammy and
it can get very messy.
Giffy.
And it's fun, but like how it is. It's the more people, the busier it gets. Like even now at this point, I'm like, I just can't keep up with every tab, and that's fine. I shouldn't have to keep up with every tab.
Right.
It's just one of those things where there's a lot of people and a lot of information, and I want to know what's going on. So that would be that position. So I think that makes 7. Wait, 1, 2, 3,
6,
4, 5, 6. 6, and then the actual GM, which makes 7. So that's what you need to expect, or that's what you need to think about. When can the people start telling you they're interested? Can they start telling you now?
Yeah, but let me just tell you that what's required is that you have a level capped character. So that's why we're waiting about a week in of Shadowlands to actually have the election start. But yeah, you guys can start telling me right now. The only reason for that is I don't want someone in an officer position and not have a max level character.
Yeah, that's a little awkward.
It makes it kind of weird. And right now, what I've always said is from expansion to expansion, you never know. Yeah. Because the types of people like that you have now that you think, okay, this person will do this person will do that. They always change from expansion to expansion.
Yeah. Okay. And so, all right. So the game comes out on the 23rd, which is Monday in the evening, right?
Yes.
So it comes out, I think it's 4 o'clock our time.
Yeah.
It's
what's going to happen is you're going to get a little pop-up thing, just like in BFA. You get a little quest. And it'll be like, you have to go to Ice Crown and talk to the person that used to be the Lich King.
Bolvar? Did you forget his name?
No, he used to be the Lich King.
Bolvar?
He used to be the Lich King, though.
Yeah, but his name is Bolvar.
No, not that guy. The guy that used to be the Lich King.
Arthas? What are you talking about?
The most recent one. The fire dude.
Bolvar.
No.
I just cannot even right now. Anyways, so if it comes out the 23rd on a Monday, you want people to start. So you got to tell Drew before December 1st if you want to be one of these officers. Because on December 1st is when the voting's happening.
Yep.
And the vote's only going to last 24 hours, right?
24 hours.
Like
you got to get your votes in. There will be no votes counted late. And there will be no recount. Okay? So yes. We'll have the voting, and then we'll have the results. Because for some reason, it's hard to do that.
Stop it.
But not in our guild, because we get the votes in, and we count them. I adjust them, and then we tell you the results.
I adjust them. So make sure you tell Drew that you are interested pretty much as soon as you can. But you have to do it before December 1st, because that's when the actual roster is going up. Mm-hmm. And then people will make announcements everywhere, and then you get 24 hours for people to actually vote. And then that'll give everybody 1 week before raid opens up.
Right.
So
let me go ahead and just put this out there too. For people like Lynx, who their mains are going to be in other guilds and whatnot, if you have a level capped character in our guild, you can still run for some of the officer positions. Now, one that obviously you have to probably not run for raid leader if you can't be there.
Yeah.
But for any of the other stuff, it'd be open.
Okay. Yeah, as long as those officers are staying active and doing what they need to do, then it's really up to you guys to vote who you want that to be.
Yep.
And then, you just mentioned raid, and I'm just thinking about it again. So raid days are, from what we know, are staying the same, but you might add on.
Yeah. So it's going to be Wednesday, Friday.
Okay.
Normally, and then Saturday, once we get to the point where we can, that will be our mythic raid day.
You think so? Not in the evening, is it? You can't steal everybody's weekends. Do people have weekends anymore?
Well, what are you guys doing? You can't go out. Don't go out. You're not supposed to go out.
I guess that'll be between you and the raid league and everybody.
And actually, this is going to be all of 9.0. So we could have different things up for 9.1 once you guys can actually get out. But
okay.
But right now, your ass is mine.
Anyways, that's the thought. So, but I guess you'll give us, at least we know Wednesdays and Fridays are staying the same. And then I assume that when the raid
Wednesdays and Fridays will be heroic raid. And hopefully
normal to begin with, though. Don't
what
are we shifting for?
Okay, so I'll talk about this with the raid leader once they're elected. But the idea is to get everybody up to item level 200, which is higher than normal. But to get to item level 200, that's about a mythic 6.
But for every piece of gear.
I'm saying I know, but that's a mythic 6. So you can do mythic 10s or 15s and get up higher than that.
Okay.
But it's going to come down to what the actual reality is. If the reality is that everybody's underneath the gear for normal and we would get benefit from doing normal,
we'll do
normal.
That makes sense, yeah. There's really no reason to go to normal if the gear that drops is seriously just going to be disenchanted.
But,
I guess
honestly, I think that our guild is good enough. I mean, we kind of saw it when we ran heroic Nihilatha. We kind of just blew it up, right?
Yeah, in a sense, I guess.
I mean, we were downing 2 new bosses every week.
There was a period of time when we were at the height of our progression, where we would just get through stuff. Yeah. And that was when everybody was on their A game. So if that happens again, then we would probably get pretty bored of normal. Here.
I mean, right now in raid, we have a lot of people showing up, but we don't have usually our higher performers. They're all the time.
Right.
Because it's old content, you know?
Yeah, who wouldn't want to be there?
Hey.
I gave Drew such a hard time. He straight up left in the middle of raid on Wednesday. He's like, I can't run this place anymore. And he just left raid. And I was like,
I'm sorry, just something snapped. And I shouldn't have done that. So I do apologize to everybody. I was back there on Friday.
He was there today.
I felt bad about it after Kat brought it up, because honestly, I didn't think it would be taken that way, but she keeps me in line so that I know what actually is reality rather than what I think.
No, it was fine. It was just I kind of understood though. But yeah. So anyways, we're done with that place. Goodbye, Nihilatha. It was great. Hope to never see you again.
We'll be running on Tuesday. Just kidding.
Yeah, we're gonna stop leveling, guys. We're gonna go back into there. We gotta finish that place up. Thanks.
So, Druid. Is Druid gonna be main for you?
Druid's gonna be the main.
Druid's gonna be the main.
Are you gonna change it up?
I'm going Warrior. I'm going Warrior. I love Warrior.
You had this like every time you were reading stuff about the Warrior in Shadowlands, like I thought you were gonna start throwing your monitors around.
Well, I mean, like they changed it so much.
They did, but I was like, just wait it out.
But you know what? It's okay. I think I'm still gonna be able to do what I want to do.
It's the orange pod picture that solidified it.
It really is.
I know.
Like, how do I have a picture like that and not have that?
I was liking the Paladin a lot, and then after I got that picture, I was just like, I gotta be a Druid.
And supposedly,
this is so good.
Top tier for PvP is arms.
So yeah,
like top tier.
You really did get into PvP towards the end of this expansion, and I think you wanted to push for that again in Shadowlands, right?
I mean, like I think my PvP main is going to probably be the monk because I think I can heal better.
Your healing on your monk's actually pretty good.
Well, for arenas it is. For raids, I don't know.
Well, no, like I always would make fun of you because you always would talk all this smack because I was always the healer, and you used to be the healer before I knew you. You used to be the holy paladin. You talked so much smack about how great of a healer you were. And then when they finally allowed a paladin to be a tank, it's like you never went heals again until every once in a while you'd go heals. And I was like, are you sure you can do this? You're like, of course. I was the best healer in vanilla. I was a holy paladin. I was so good. That's how you sound in my head, apparently.
Thanks, yeah.
And I was
Why did she marry me?
Then you'd be like, okay, maybe I'm not that good anymore. But I gotta admit, I shut up a bit when I saw your healing monk in arena because it was actually looking pretty good.
Thanks. So yeah, the warrior's gonna be the main for me. And protection is gonna be my main spec with Fury is off.
Are you gonna be my tank for Mythic Plus?
For Mythic Plus, yes. For raid, we'll have to see because I don't want to bring the raid down if warrior isn't great.
All right.
We want to have the best.
Well, again, you're kind of like it's one of those things where we got to see who shows too, right? Like we got to see who we have and who wants to tank and who's going to be there consistently and
I think one of the big things too is my Ospec, my Fury, I think is good enough that I could go that at any time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So because I mean, like right now, it's kind of my Fury.
You like honestly, you're kind of like there's a couple people in guild, but like. You have multiple specs or multiple characters that, in my opinion, your skill level on them are interchangeable. Like, you could be on any one of those, and I'd be like, whatever he's doing on that one is going to be fine. Like, Scrumpy and Mist and Hacked and, like, lots of people in the guild. They have characters where I'm like, you can pick whoever you want, because whatever you play is usually, like, up to speed and good to go. Right. And that's how you are kind of with your
I think we're all pretty...
You guys are all pretty awesome. Yeah. Honestly, I don't have that option. You tell me to get on another character, and I'm like...
Well, no, because we talked about this, that, your option could be the Warlock because it's like...
I kind of like that idea. I would never think I liked the idea of a Warlock until you explained it that way. I posted it in Discord because you said that I should play a Warlock because it's like, it's like healing, or it's like, what did you say? It's like the healing on the Druid, but instead you're putting it on the enemy and damaging them. And I was just like, that... kind of makes sense.
Yeah. So
that's the only time.
Personally, I'd be excited to see you.
We got Bay, our one Warlock.
Well, I mean, but we need more.
Do we? We got the one.
We do have the one.
He's a stable. He's like the foundation for the guild. Like everybody's so weird. They're like, is there a Warlock here? And Bay's like, yes, I'm here. And I'm like, oh gosh, thank goodness. Bay, what are you leveling first? The Warlock. Oh, thank goodness. Because like there's no other Warlock available.
Warlock's supposed to be pretty strong.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
and I mean, it's also awesome that you have someone like Bay in the guild that you can ask
what the heck to do.
Yeah, because he's really good.
He kind of knows what he's doing, I guess. I suppose.
Yeah. But
he's not turning me into a freaking ghoul in the middle of the city.
Yeah, that's pretty hardcore.
Did you see the GIF he posted?
Yeah.
Of turning me and Mist on the fountain into freaking zombies.
That's what you guys get for being on the fountain.
It's it's like my bird bath, and
no,
then Mist
it's
always
like
gets the top.
Hey, look at me in my mount area.
That I'm never on a cool mount. I'm always a bird.
Whatever. I know when Mist is over there because there's a stupid dinosaur on the top of that
very
thing.
Top,
for no freaking reason.
Like a cake topper that's just like
just high enough so that no one can actually use it.
That's not true. You can get on the bird bath part. That's it. Anyways, is there anything else that you wanted to talk about?
No, there's a lot.
Okay, continue.
There is professions.
Yikes.
They're big in
that's what I keep hearing.
Really big. Now, you don't need to have a profession to craft your legendary. You don't need a profession to craft your legendary.
Why?
Because there's an area you go to, you click on a dude who lives like in chains, and then you put the pieces in there and he crafts it for you. But to get the actual pieces, the individual professions can make those, but then also they're not bind on pickup. So you can get them from other people. You can buy them off the auction house.
You can literally just buy your legendary.
Well, the big part about that is the soul ash, and that's from doing their what's that place called?
The Maw?
No.
Torghast?
Yeah, Torghast. And there's a certain cap on how much you can do that or get stuff. So that's the limiting factor.
Yeah. Okay.
Everything else you can kind of just buy or get people to craft for you. But professions are important because those are going to be basically how you get your legendary.
So you're telling me I actually need to work on a profession this time?
Yeah. And then also how the gathering works is a little bit different as far as like mining nodes and
herbs.
Herbs, yep. There's 4 different areas.
Right.
Each area has a mine and an herb that is unique to it.
Okay.
So, and then there's 2 that are shared with everything.
Okay. It's kind of like Nazjatar. Right? Because you can only get Xanthid in Nazjatar.
That would be the only real example of how it is right now.
That's why I used it.
Yep.
It's real.
But there's 4 of them, right?
Okay.
So you actually have to have people.
It'd be better if people were kind of like all contributing because they'll be all over the place, opposed to one person being like, I'll just travel across the entire world to get all this stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's too much.
Because people are going to be in certain areas,
right,
for their faction
and their right, for the covenant and whatever.
So
okay,
a lot of people won't even see certain areas. So we've got to kind of organize that part in between the guild, just kind of like, hey, who has this area, who can gather in this area.
There's going to be like, hopefully we get a lot of donations. Because
I think we will.
I know that this is going to be.
Everybody's usually really good on that.
Yeah, they've always been awesome about so giving about everything. So.
Even if they're just like, I don't want to go pick anything, let me go buy it off the auction house.
Yeah, that's true. No, okay, cool. That's good to know.
Yep. So
think about professions.
Yep, and then total leveling time should be around 8 hours.
So where are you getting this 8 hours from? Where did you hear this?
Pretty much everybody.
Just everybody? Everybody. All your friends? All the
everybody
people
knows that it's about 8 hours.
Well, I didn't know this.
Yeah.
So wait, is this 8 hours with like, I've got these potions equipped and I've got these speed pots and I've got, bam, I've got all these things and I'm just robot my way through.
She won't stop. She just keeps on going.
I'm kind of tired. This is after raid. We don't usually record this late.
No, it's what they estimate out for the average person. Is
the average person?
8 to 10 hours.
That's not very long.
Well, here's the deal: is like it's main quest line.
Right.
Right. It's actually more like Final Fantasy, with their you just follow the main quest line.
Right.
And there's other quests you can pick up and do, but you don't need to.
Okay.
To level all the way.
But you have to just probably should eventually because you're going to want some flying later.
Well, no, because you do the other ones to get more rep with.
Also, you're going to want some flying later.
Yeah, but that's going to be like in 8.3.
I'm just saying eventually.
Or in 9.3.
You're going to want some flying later.
Yes.
I just try to work that into the conversation more.
So prepare for flying in a year or two by doing quests at launch. I guess that's how her brain works. This is
why nobody listens to Kat's hot tips for Shadowlands.
I mean, yeah. So the idea is you go through the main quest line. You get to the end. You select your covenants.
Right.
And then the real game starts.
Then the real game happens?
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, it's going to be exciting.
Are you going to zoom your way through without me?
I'm going to grab you kicking and screaming with me.
If I'm like, I want to read this quest, you're like, no! You're just going to like...
Yeah, the entire guild, like I don't think I'm ever going to be alone. I'm always just gonna grab someone from the guild,
probably,
and go.
You're probably gonna have to go on without me a lot, because I'm in no rush. Like, I'm gonna level up within 2 days. I feel but I'm not gonna level up within 8 hours.
I feel like I'm Rose on the Titanic then. And then
you're gonna let me go and let me die? Why are you Rose?
Then I just let you go so that I can continue on to level cap. And I see you just vanish in the water like. And then once I get to level cap, I'll come over with a diamond where I left you, and I'll just drop it on you with flying, because I'll have flying for some reason, right? And I'll just be like,
did your quest in the zone,
and it'll just go down to you.
Thanks, that's super helpful.
Yeah, and I'll have Celine Dion do the song for it. It'll be amazing.
This is why we don't record podcasts at this time of night. This is a problem. We've gone off the deep end.
Literally.
No, only I did. You're flying.
No. Oh, okay.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Well, there wasn't enough room on the board. I'm sorry.
Listen, so I will not be hitting level 60 8 hours after launch.
That's what she thinks.
No, I'm really not.
That's what she said.
I will be hitting it like 2 days later.
It won't be 2 days. It'll be a day. It'll be 24 hours, and you'll be at level.
I don't feel like I have a choice in this.
The servers stay up.
Yeah.
Because today, there was something going on, right?
Yeah, there's been something going on for the last 48, 72 hours.
Well, I mean, that's going to happen. You launched Hearthstone, Diablo, COD.
Yeah.
What else? What else could they possibly launch? Oh, yeah.
WoW expansion. And
you forgot Overwatch. Hurry up. Get Overwatch in there.
Get something for Overwatch. They're probably, I don't know. Anyways, so
everyone on the planet will be in the Battle.net app on launch.
Yeah. So I'm just hoping. Do you remember when the guild chat went down for a day?
That was when we formed the guild. You remember that?
Yeah, and you were still stuck in the old guild chat, but we had formed the other guild, and it was so awkward. Okay, I'm just hoping, because it is linear, like you said. Mm-hmm. So everybody's gonna be kind of phased, right? They do the phasing now. Yeah. So to help with bottlenecking, I still think it's gonna be a mess.
Well, the entire first part is, I don't want to ruin anything, but
I played the whole first part.
Okay, it's pretty much like Escort, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So your first level is going to be pretty easy.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I mean, there's not levels that are challenging.
Well, and here's the thing too, is for that first level at level 50, everything that there's a lot of potions and things that say don't work above level 50.
Yeah.
Which means use the crap out of them in that first area.
True.
And then you never can again.
And then just throw them out of your bags.
Yep.
Into the ocean.
Yes.
With your diamond necklace.
With your wife.
With your wife
just floating.
I'll take these. Yeah. Okay. So that's cool. We got that all figured out. Anything else you would like to cover besides the fact that you're going to let me drown in freezing cold water?
I mean, it would be me and Ride probably letting you drown.
Yeah, I know. I just picture yourself you and Ride just holding hands, skipping away.
Actually, you know what might happen is, and this happens all the time, it'll turn into a contest between me and him somehow.
See, I will. You're going to be so tired. You're going to.
It's only going to take me 8 hours to level, so I'm not going to be that tired.
Okay, but it releases at
But then 4. I've got to do heroic to get up to mythic. To get up to mythic 15.
Okay.
Actually,
this is why I'm going to take my time.
Okay, real quick.
What do you love about this?
One more thing. So it works a little bit different. The dungeons do. They drop one piece of gear. Mythic Pluses do now.
They always did that.
No. In BFA, they dropped 2 or 3.
What?
Pieces of gear for the entire group.
Oh, you're talking about for the group? So wait, now they're dropping one for the entire?
One piece.
I hate it.
One piece. And it's the highest you can get is going to be a little bit under where you get gear for heroic.
Wait, what? So if you run a Mythic Plus, you get gear under what a heroic is?
Yeah, if you do a 15, you get under what a heroic is.
Why? How does that make sense?
But your weekly chest
I don't care.
will be above that.
What is the point of even giving me a piece of gear at the end then?
Well, because basically we need to gear up to get into heroic.
Are you talking about heroic raid?
Yes.
Not heroic dungeons.
Why would I be talking about heroic dungeons?
Because you're talking about. Wait, are you talking about Mythic Plus or Mythic?
Mythic Plus.
Okay. Got it.
We're never doing Another podcast this late.
Too tired.
Ever.
This is why you don't see me after.
So yes.
Okay.
So basically, if you max out your stuff, it'll be just under what you get from Heroic Raid. So there'll be a reason to do Heroic Raid.
You'll get upgrades in Heroic Raid.
Yes.
I like it. I changed my mind.
Yeah, but also you don't have to do Mythic 15 to get the max thing in your chest. It's down to 14. If you do a 14, you'll get the max thing in your chest.
Why?
I mean, I don't know, because that's how it is.
I have so many questions.
But anyways, so that's how it is in Shadowlands.
Okay.
But I don't think gear's going to be a problem with Torghast and everything.
Yeah.
And all the different choices you can get now in your weekly chest.
Yeah. Boots, and boots.
Yep.
And some more boots. Choose your boots.
And plus PvP stuff. You can actually, there's a PvP vendor now.
Yeah.
And you can buy the pieces, and you can upgrade the pieces you buy with Honor and Conquest.
You're very excited at this time of night. I feel like we've switched energy levels for our podcast. Like, I'm ready to be like, all right, guys.
Listen, I'm just excited for Shadowlands.
I'm excited too.
Maybe you hate Shadowlands.
No,
maybe we should talk about that.
To be fair, I like the idea of it and the thought of it and like experiencing it with the guild. Right. I'm really excited about because it almost feels like a get together event.
It is. It's going to be a
yeah. So I'm really excited.
It's like a mini BlizzCon online.
It is. But not.
All right. So, I think that's all we got. So I'm going to hit the music here. We don't have a drink this time because
I'm sorry because
we don't want to go out
COVID's
because
out there.
We don't want to catch the plague. So
the plague.
I'm going to hit the music now. We're going to wave and say bye, and we'll see you guys in game.
Okay, bye guys. Have a good one.
All right. So, goodbye.
Bye. It's so awkward.